Josh,
Yes, good morning.
Mr. Schaefer is here. Do you need to speak with him in the breakout room?
I have not met with anybody in the breakout room who have all requested counsel today.
Schaefer, yes.
Okay.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm going to send you an invitation to join the breakout room. Just click on that button so you can speak with your attorney.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Ms. Freeman.
Morning.
Were you looking to use the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning, ma'am? Ma'am, the question was, were you looking to use the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning? You're muted, Ms. Freeman. Good morning, Ms. Rapp.
Good morning, Your Honor.
How are you today?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good. Wondering if you're gonna put your Halloween decorations up, or were you just teasing me last week?
I have it on my one office.
I'll have to meander back there. Ms. Freeman. Ms. Freeman. Ms. Freeman. Ms. Freeman. Ms. Freeman, this is Judge Martin. I'm trying to figure out if you're looking to use the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. I need you to respond, please. Ms. Freeman. Are we ready, Mr. Hadley?
We're all set on Schaefer.
Thank you, sir. This is 22BL00102 AOD. This is City of Belleville versus Matthew Zachary Schaefer. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning,
Matthew.
Your Honor. Can you hear us okay, Mr. Schaefer?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley appearing on behalf of the defendant, Matthew Schaefer. Mr. Schaefer,
State
can
your
you
name
state
for me,
your name?
please, sir.
Good morning. This is Matthew Schaefer.
Thank you, sir. Today is the day and time set for the show cause hearing in this matter. The probation department has submitted a memo to the court that indicates that although you have had 4 months to complete your 12 hours of community service, you have failed to do so. This report is dated from this morning. The court did grant a 30-day extension for you to complete those community service hours. Mr. Hadley, where do we stand this morning, sir?
Your Honor, we go ahead and plead guilty as to the probation violation with explanation as to what's going on, and then hopefully we can kind of craft a solution to this issue.
Mr. Matthew, you were able to hear, I'm sorry, Mr. Schaefer, you were able to hear Mr. Hadley just now?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're understanding that a plea of guilty will be entered to the probation violation in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're doing that after consulting with Mr. Hadley?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're doing so freely and voluntarily, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the explanation, Mr. Hadley?
Your Honor, it's not one that we're all unfamiliar with, but essentially Mr. Schaefer is the basically sole financial provider right now, it sounds like, for the family. The mother of his child has been undergoing some unfortunate health issues over the past few months. And Mr. Schaefer he's a cook, he's a chef. He works back of the house hours. He works at the I'm sorry, Mr. Schaefer, forgot the name of the restaurant, but very busy restaurant downtown in the Rinson. I can relate to understanding what the grind in those hours look like. He is not trying to shrug his responsibilities. He's just looking for slots in a week to plug it in where he's not basically getting himself pulled in a different direction. He's aware that the court was very gracious and Ms. Rapp was very gracious in granting the last extension. Our concern now is we don't want to ask for another extension to fail. You know, we're wondering what other options or where and how we can get this scheduled. Or on the alternate, if this court would consider converting the 12 hours of community service into fines.
Ms. Rapp?
Fines are already assessed on this case. The community service was not in lieu of fines and costs.
We understand. We were just looking for a creative solution again, because he's working so much, you know, that is a good thing. But then again, the hard part of this one is finding hours to get this one plugged in. So that's why we're kind of trying to come up with a creative outside the box on that.
Mr. Haley, I think part of the problem is that Mr. Schaefer has failed to be responsive to the probation department when they're following up. And if your assertion to the court is that in 4 months' time, none of the 12 hours have been able to have been completed, that's a problem for the court. That's quite a period of time. And unless you're saying that Mr. Schaefer works 7 days a week.
He works 5 to 6, Your Honor, with, again, the other day recently, unfortunately, being tied up quite a bit with dealing with some of these family issues. We know it's not an excuse. Again, we didn't say, you know, we're pleading guilty with it's not our fault. It was just more of an explanation to kind of put some context as to he hasn't been playing video games, sitting on the couch, getting high, not doing this. He's just really right now kind of pushing himself to the limit. And we would ask the court to consider this as we, you know, move forward and figure out what's appropriate in response to this probation violation.
Any recommendation, Ms. Rapp?
I mean, we could adjourn this one additional time, and at that time, if the defendant has not completed the 12 hours community service, deal with it at that time. Unless he doesn't believe he will be able to do the community service.
We discussed this a little bit, and I don't want to put words into your mouth, Mr. Schaefer. Realistically, you know, the court's, Ms. Rapp's giving you you know, another kind of opportunity at this. what do you feel could be reasonable for you to commit to here today?
Well, I do understand that the community service needs to be done, and I have had ample time to do it. So I understand that that's objective one, but I don't want to commit to saying I'm going to be able to accomplish it, and with my scheduling situation and just transportation in general, like it already costs a lot to get from Ypsilanti to Detroit, and then trying to balance that within my own co-parenting schedule and trying to help provide to keep another household afloat. I don't know when I would be able to fit sleep, eat, and I guess just life into the schedule at the time.
I think we're going to need to come up with something better than that. I understand, Mr. Schaefer, but again, probation's, and I don't mean to be hammering on you. I work for you and I'm here to advocate for you, but I'm trying to do that. And I believe that, again, understanding that probation's voluntary, the court can revoke probation. They do have a lot of tools at their disposal. Is there any way that you think that you can commit to getting, even if we're back in a month with a check-in point, can you get some of these done?
Yeah, I can do that. I can try to get some accomplished as soon as possible. Yes.
So, Your Honor, with that being said, I think that Ms. Rapp's suggestion, if this court's willing to entertain it, of giving us one more punt, let us kick it down the road a little bit further. And again, Mr. Schaefer will do everything he can to try to get these done. But that's our humble ask at this point.
Mr. Schaefer, what the court will do is adopt a recommendation of Ms. Rapp from the probation department, will adjourn this matter for 30 days. A notice will be mailed to your attention at the address the court has on file. Of concern for this court is that you were originally charged with operating while intoxicated. You were allowed to plead guilty to an added count of operating while visibly impaired. The court did not impose jail. The court put you on fines, costs, and a very limited hours of community service. If at the adjourned date you appear without documentation of having completed any of the 12 hours of community service, the court will consider converting that community service to jail time.
Understood.
Maybe that'll be a motivating factor in completing just these very short 12 hours. Anything else, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor, we thank you for the court's entertaining of the ask, and we do appreciate your time. Thank you, Ms. Rapp, as well.
Anything else, Mr. Schaefer?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, if you do not have a place where you can do some of these community service hours with a nonprofit, please reach out to the probation department. They may have a list of places that allow you to complete your community service hours in a location that's either convenient to work or convenient to home. Have a good day, sir.
You as well.
Thank you. Ms. Freeman.
Yeah.
Ma'am, the court has been asking you for the last 10 minutes, if you wanted the assistance of the court-appointed attorney. If you've not responded, ma'am, do you wish to speak to Mr. Hadley this morning?
Oh, sure. I didn't hear you. Honestly, I couldn't hear you. I've been sitting here.
You're
waiting.
going to, ma'am, you'll see an invitation to join him in the breakout room. Please go there with him to discuss this probation violation.
Okay.
Thank you. This is 220079OD. This is Van Buren Township versus Terrence Barney. This matter was scheduled for show cause at 9:30. It's now 9:48 by the court's clock. This court's policy is 15 minutes after the scheduled start time. The court does not see Mr. Barney anywhere. Ms. Rapp, do you have any information regarding the status of this matter?
The defendant has not tried to contact me at all today.
Inasmuch as the defendant has failed to appear as directed by this court and has been non-compliant with treatment or education, with testing and with payments, and has had BAC readings of 0.118, 0.247, and 0.153 since being placed on probation with this court, bench warrant shall issue in this matter 5,000, 10%. Anything else in this matter, Ms. Rapp?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. Mary Ann, the conclusion of the docket, I'll go downstairs and get Fred up here. I see we still have a problem with this camera, and I don't know if it's the same problem he addressed before.
Okay.
This is 21BL008480D. This is City of Belleville versus Freeman. May I have your appearance, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley appearing on behalf of the defendant, Ms. Tiana Freeman. Ms. Freeman, can you state your name for the court, please?
Tiana Freeman.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for the show cause hearing in this morning in this matter. The court has received a memo from the probation department indicating that Ms. Freeman has violated the terms of her probation by failing to provide documentation that she has completed the 24 hours of community service that were part of her April 4, 2022 sentence in this matter. Mr. Hadley, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, after advising Ms. Freeman of her rights and reviewing the facts, it's Ms. Freeman's choice to go ahead and plead guilty to the probation violation of failing to complete the community services directed. And we would like to give, again, to this court a brief explanation as to kind of what's going on with Ms. Freeman, so you guys can understand sort of where we're at.
Ms. Freeman, you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Hadley this morning regarding this matter.
Correct.
And ma'am, is your desire to plead guilty to the probation violation in this matter?
Yes, correct.
And ma'am, you're doing so freely and voluntarily,
Voluntarily.
and you haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Hadley, what is the explanation?
Thank you, Your Honor. So Ms. Freeman has basically stated we've run into some obstacles with finding community service that's nearby her. I explained that Ms. Rapp does have some options that are in the Ypsilanti area. I don't know that she's got them offhand. I don't mean to put her on the spot, but I did indicate to her that you could work with the court. Ms. Freeman is the single parent of a 16-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and is currently 6 months pregnant. She is working. She did gain employment this past June. So positively speaking, things are moving in the right direction, but obviously time's been an issue, as well as arranging for childcare during the times to get this community service done. One of the ideas, again, we proposed, if this court will be so gracious as to grant an extension, I would ask for, again, another 30, 60 days to let her kind of get working with somebody out in Ypsilanti. We discussed the idea of maybe finding some churches or some community service options that may even have daycare for her youngest 2-year-old now that the 4-year-old's in school. I don't know what's out there, but again, I told her we've got to get creative and come up with the solution to get these hours done. With that being said, Your Honor, she's not trying to shrug responsibility. She knows that this needs to get done. We would just ask for this court's graciousness in extending a deadline, to complete.
Before Ms. Rapp weighs in, Ms. Freeman, have you completed any of your service hours?
No.
Have you reached out to probation to ask for a list of opportunities close to where you are?
No, they have sent me a list, but it was more county area where,
Ma'am, I'm sorry, you're muffled up.
I said they had sent me a list, but it was towards the Wayne County area. I was looking for something more like Ypsilanti.
Ms. Rapp,
We don't have a list for Ypsilanti because they're outside their venue, but I can go online and research some places to provide for the defendant.
thank you. Ms. Freeman, what the court will do is adjourn this matter for 30 days. The probation department will mail a new notice to your attention at the address that the court has on file. Ms. Rapp graciously has agreed to try to locate some service opportunities for you. If you are unable to complete all of the 24 hours, please start doing some of them. If you're having trouble finding a location to do those hours, even after Ms. Rapp provides you some information, please follow up with the probation department versus not responding and not doing anything between now and that adjourned date, okay?
Okay.
Anything else in this matter, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor, thank you for your understanding. Thank you, Ms. Rapp, as well. Good luck, Ms. Freeman.
Thank you.
Have a good day, Ms. Freeman.
You too.
It's 9:57. There was a bench warrant
For Barney.
in the Barney matter. That concludes this court's docket for the morning. We stand adjourned. Thank you all. Good to see you, Mr. Grant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good to see everybody, and thank you, Your Honor.
See you,
Four.
Josh.
Well, good to stay. Bye, Marianne. 4 kids and 1 on the way, Your Honor. I'm a dink, a dual income, no kids. Like when I hear something like that, that's just terrifying to me. I'm like, wow, 5
Not
kids.
terrifying. Take care.